Kerbal Space Program 2. What on earth could have happened there?
Why?
Maybe I don't understand what's happening, but I'm gonna pretend like I do for the realism. The moon is 238,900 miles from the Earth. That is 4,204,640 American football fields. That's almost as big as your forehead. Hello everyone, I hope you liked that little intro. I got a little carried away, but I think it was cool. So my goal here today is not a moon landing, but I am going to orbit the moon. And the construction process is a lot simpler than it was last time. Mostly because I knew what I was going for this time around. So as you can kind of see on the rocket ship, I kind of mimicked the Apollo 1 mission. Not to a T, obviously, but I did go with like the 2 on the side and the shorter one in the middle, which I think actually benefited me in the end. Also, the trial runs of this rocket ship really kind of showed me how important aerodynamics are. Before the clip you're watching now, I think I built about 4 other ships because for some reason I couldn't figure out how to get out of orbit, which I ultimately narrowed down to the fact that I had no wings or anything and aerodynamics were just flipping my ship like before I even got out of the atmosphere. I received a few comments on my last video asking me to kind of show what I'm doing in space. So I'm going to try and narrate what I'm doing as far as like the nodes and the maneuvers go. The first thing I always try to do is get into Earth's orbit and then kind of slingshot myself from there to the moon. That is not what I did this time though. Instead, I accidentally messed up my initial orbit, but I decided to kind of just go with it. So I made an extremely long orbit, but the good thing is that the top of the orbit actually intercepted with the moon's orbit. So since I'm still trying to kind of figure out this game, I didn't really pressure myself into fixing. I kind of just left it like that and waited for the moon to intercept. And as you can see here, I actually do intercept the moon a few days after launch. Admittedly, I did get a little confused here because I was referring to the information I had from Kerbal Space Program 1, which was a little bit different from Kerbal Space Program 2. Because whenever you would intercept the moon, it would kind of give you 2 spheres that kind of told you where you were versus where the moon was. Which yes, it still does do in this game, but it felt a little different, or I'm just outdated. I don't really know what the problem was, but it kind of took me a second to figure it out. And I actually had to put a cut here because the cargo bay I was using wouldn't let my satellite out, so I had to redo the entire thing. These things don't happen in one shot, people. Now, one thing I did try to do that I failed to do last time around was actually get rid of the debris in space. But I don't know if I'm just stupid and deleted it, but I thought I put a probe on my fuel engine and it just wasn't there, and so I kind of just had to leave that in space yet again. So even though this mission had quite a few bumps and it didn't turn out the way I initially intended, I am calling it a success because I could not have done this in Kerbal Space Program 1. One other thing I did was actually accidentally delete the actual satellite.
You what?
But luckily, I had a backup save. My goal was to delete the debris, because even though I had failed that part of the mission, I kind of just didn't want it floating around my world. So I was like, okay, let's just delete it. And I guess I clicked on the wrong thing. I really don't know what happened. I was raging. But I did end up fixing it, and I did end up deleting the right thing. So that's good. And yeah, that's about it. This mission was pretty easy, pretty short, didn't take a lot. But with that being said comes probably the second to hardest mission that will involve the moon, for me at least. Next video I plan on making a rover, attaching it to a rocket, an unmanned rocket, and landing that rover on the moon in a one-way trip. After that, it's a round trip landing on the moon, bringing the Kerbal home. If you guys have any tips, any strategies, anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments. Other than that, I'm probably just going to be free winging it, and I hope it all will work out. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.